Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. Let's talk about what makes Little Mix's performance of Secret Love Song so awesome. Here we go.
Every time I say a word, diamonds or more, stolen moments that we steal. As the curtain falls, he'll never be enough. As you drive me to my house, I can't stop these silent tears from rolling down you and
Okay, one thing to point out here is you'll notice when they're standing here, they aren't just on a straight line, they're actually staggered. And they're facing slightly different directions. They're not all straight onto the audience facing forward. So important. It's important for a lot of reasons. But if you think about it, if you're talking to someone and they're facing straight onto you versus they're talking at an angle, straight on feels a lot more confrontational. Angle feels more conversational and more inviting. It also looks more natural in a group if you break it up. It gives more visual interest. It makes it feel more comfortable. A straight line feels almost like a posse that's walking up and threatening you rather than a group that's trying to entertain you, right? So in this case, that breakup is really, really useful. Let's see what else we got.
I both have to hide on the outside where I can't be yours and you can't be mine. But I know this. Sing it!
You're going to say, sing it! Sing it! Notice how clean and clear and forward and pure that was? That placement right there is a really great one to start playing with. Just speaking in that place for pop music. It's really forward, bright, clean, clear. It's going to help you get in the higher register. So try it. Try playing, trying to keep that really forward, clean, crisp, buzzy forward, piercing sound just to see what happens. Obviously, we want to keep it relaxed and comfortable here. If you're doing it by getting tight and tense there, not what we're looking for. But try to get this forward resonance. It's going to feel like it's buzzing right up in there. The other thing you'll notice is when she was singing there in the lower, she kept it a little taller and back. Not the 80% yawning smile position that we talk a lot about with pop, especially in the middle higher ranges. She's in her lower range and she's wanting to keep it warm, richer, darker, smoother, kind of softer feeling here at the start. So she's keeping that place more like an O position, which is adding some height, some warmth. It's pulling the placement back a little bit. And you can really hear that contrast when she's in the lower to then when she says this, sing it! When that placement goes from being warm in the back to this forward buzzy place. And so what we can learn from that lower range, you can start experimenting with this uhs, ohs, uhs that are going to help give it warmer and richer. But as we go to the middle higher, you're going to want to switch it to this smiling yawn space in the back. That's going to help you switch through, get a little bit more of a clean mix all the way up into the higher registers.
Can it be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. Why can't I say that I'm in love? I wanna shout it from the rooftops. I wish that it could be like that. Why can't it be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
Okay, so you're hearing when she's going up to that highest range, she softens it up, pulls it way back. Like that, right? What's going on with that? Why isn't it big and beefy up there on the top? Well, if she kept it really forward, really open, really bright, it'd probably be a little too much, a little too intense for this point in the song. And so she gives a little bit of this growth, this intensity in the middle, lower, lets it kind of flip into this higher, keeps it soft. So there's this feeling of push and pull still in this moment. Because she keeps the placement relatively consistent and forward, even though she's flipping over into that top lighter, softer place, it still sounds relatively consistent. It doesn't sound like a mistake, right? She's also really consistent and keeps that coming down on the backside soft and doesn't try to land and beef it up too quick, so that it's not happening, that big switch flip is not happening in the middle of a phrase, which is what's going to make it sound more like a mistake. So being really smart there. I don't know these singers well enough. This is my first time listening to them to know what else they have up on top, and if this is really all she has, or if this is a choice or what's going on. One way or the other, it's great sound working for her now. She's being very smart about it, and it all sounds like we would expect it to sound with this style. So, cool.
Every piece of you, it just fits perfectly. Every second, every thought, coming so deep, but I'll never show it on my face. But
notice how much they let their hands talk. One's obviously has the mic right up against their mouth, but the other one is talking like they would. She's doing stuff like she would probably talk. It's not how I would do it, but it's how she would do it. And I believe that. Seems like to really match her. Did she gesture the same way as the other singer? Nope. They're all gesturing in their own ways, letting their hands talk. If their hands didn't, they just stayed by their sides the entire time, even as they started singing, we wouldn't buy it. We wouldn't believe it. Especially in an arena this big. The bigger the hand gestures, the more obvious, the better. So it's always about finding this balance between how to make them big and expressive, but still believable, genuine, and authentic. So the best way to make that happen is to not try to edit or censor your movements. Give them permission to be big, do whatever they feel like they're going to do, and then find ways of expressing yourself that are more and more comfortable. But until you let yourself go big and really play too big, you're never going to find where that limit is. So first, play big, gesture big, see how big you can make it, then video and watch it and see if you were watching this person, would it feel too big or insincere? I think as you start doing that, you'll find that your body knows what to do a lot more than you think it probably does. The key, go big.
oh, this, we gotta love that. Can you hold me in the street? Or can I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that it could be like that. Or can it be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
Okay, so you might hear this voice think, wow, it sounds like a lot of power, right? Sounds like it's warmer and richer. The temptation to do that would then be pull the placement back, make it really tall and warm and rich in the back, which isn't necessarily wrong, but you also realize that there's a lot of the ping and forwardness, so it's both happening at the same time. It's, in classical terms, chiaroscuro, it's that light and dark all happening at the same time that is really exciting and sounds powerful to us. It's not push, it's not force that we want, it's that openness in back without it being trapped there and letting that sound really bounce around, get nice and full in the back, and travel through all these other resonant spaces and come on out into the house, right? And so if we start playing with that, then we're going to get a much more rich, full, powerful sound that is still really present and easy to understand. It doesn't sound swallowed. So how can you practice that today? Well, just practice. You can sing whatever song you're wanting to do on an A vowel, then an O vowel, and really try to open the space as much as you can and see what happens. Then try to sing it again on a nya, getting it as buzzy as possible. Again, with whatever we're doing, we're trying to keep it easy and comfortable here. If it starts getting tight or tense, back off a little bit and try to get that same buzziness or openness without it getting uncomfortable, tight, tense, or fatigued here. So you can try it on nya, 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 and then you can sing on that same pitch with a nya, trying to get as buzzy as possible. Then try to do both at the same time, keeping it warm and open and rich, but trying to keep that buzz at the same time. It's going to feel like you're stretching in both directions. You're trying to stretch and open as much as you can up here in this front sinuses in the front of your mouth. You're also going to try to stay as open as you can with that yawning feeling in the back. And depending on the shape that you have, it's more A oriented, it's going to make it a little brighter. If it's more or O oriented, it's going to make it a little darker. Either way, you want to keep this forward buzzy stretch in the front at the same time. And you're going to notice that that's a great way to get a large variety of different sounds depending on how you shape them, both in terms of shaping the space back here and placing that sound here. Again, if you're wanting to soften it up like we did with the first of these singers, you'll pull the placement back is one way to soften it up. And if you're wanting to give more power, or the feeling of more power, you're going to pull that placement forward. And so there's all kinds of options that you have at your disposal to create different unique sounds and colors. And does that mean that any of these other singers can make the same sound that each other's making? They could actually probably get pretty close. Maybe not exactly the same because everyone's got different instruments and they sound slightly different, but we can get relatively close if we match. So that's the other thing you can play with is see what happens if you just try to match what you see here. Don't match what you hear, match what you see. Match the mouth position, match how much of these upper teeth you're seeing, match how much this jaw is releasing. All of these things that you're seeing, even at the eyes in here, and just see what happens. See what changes in your voice and notice the different sounds that come out just by imitating what you see. Not that that's what we want you to do all the time. We don't want you to be imitating and mimicking all these different singers, but it's a way to explore how to make different sounds and in ways that match what different people are doing. And you're going to notice that just by imitating the actual structure of what's going on with their face, that you're going to see big changes. It's really cool. Okay, if you look at that shot just a second ago where it zoomed out behind them, you could see that their feet were not equally weighted, right? Their weight was on one foot or the other. That's really important. As soon as your weight goes equal on both feet, you're stuck. You're not going to move. It also feels confrontational. It feels static. It feels formal. And the audience will start disconnecting a little bit. They'll feel distance from you. If you'll just shift your weight so that you're still balanced, but your weight is not equally weighted, it's on one foot or the other, you're going to notice that your body is much more expressive, free to move, free to be dynamic. It also will put your audience at ease. It'll feel more natural and comfortable. It won't feel like this formal event of you singing to them. It will feel more like a conversation. Other thing I want to point out, notice the consistency of the upper tooth smile thing going on. Are they doing a lot of dancing, jumping around? Nope. But they're doing a lot with their eyes, their face, their hands. And because their feet are not equally weighted, their bodies are able to move and shift. So it feels comfortable, relaxed, genuine, honest. It draws our attention right into them. And my guess is this probably comes in a moment where there's more active things on both sides of them. So it gives us this respite to really just focus on the people behind it and not on the spectacle, which is really refreshing.
Why can't it be like that? 'Cause why can't I say that I'm in love? I wanna shout it from the rooftops. I wish that it could be like that. Why can't it be like that? 'Cause I'm
Okay, what vowel is that? Yes, right, is where she's going. But because we know it's yours, our ear processes it as yours. To be able to get to that higher place, she's modifying it towards the ah. Yars. It's almost like it's spelled Y-A-R-S, minus even the R. Yas, right? Play with that. See if that changes how you're hitting the top notes. Now, we want to be really careful about doing that because we don't want everything to sound like an ah. We just don't. We want to hear the real vowel. But if you'll try that now and keep that ah in the back, then you'll notice you can actually shape the other vowels around it with your tongue and teeth and still get as pure vowels, but in a way that keeps this space open so it can be resonant and so it can give us the overtone series that we're looking for the specific style. And in this case, we're talking pop. It's an ah shape here in the back, which is what we're hearing here. And you'll actually hear it a lot in pop where they'll just flat out sing the ah and not even try to sing the other vowel. Good, bad, or ugly? No. We as an audience can hear it. It's just a stylistic thing. And if it helps them sing that note, get it easier, more comfortable, hey, then give it a go.
wish we could be
Okay, so really cool. There's a lot we can learn of how to really still keep a captivating song with a little bit of movement by using our face, our hands, our torso, Our foot position, you'll notice with each of them we had a relatively consistent sound in terms of style, but they're all distinct and unique enough where it also gave us variety in what we were hearing and made their voices really unique so we can pull them out of the texture. It was really fun to hear that all the way across. You're seeing the upper two smile. You're also hearing that consistent airflow working through it. They each had stylistic elements that they introduce on their own in terms of either if they're scooping into a note or if they're putting a little bit of a whine up on top, or if they're keeping it really clean, or if they're reducing airflow and keeping a little bit more of the height and warmth in it, or if they're the or whatever it happens to be. You'll notice that they are each playing with the basic fundamentals that make it work well and putting their own unique twist on it. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. If you want me to react to a short 5-minute clip or less, you can find me on Wizio.com. I'll give you specific responses that will give you specific actions that you can do to improve whatever you're working on. If you want a lesson or performance coaching, book a time with me at mrperformingartstudio.com. I can help you or your group sing easier, perform at a consistently higher level. I look forward to working with you online. Till next time, see you later.